Cameron, cheers for having me on for this opposition fan preview. Obviously, a huge game for us on Wednesday night, going to Goodison Park. I know it's behind closed doors, but it's always somewhere I enjoy going as an away fan, so I'm a little bit gutted about not being able to go. But obviously, it's a difficult place to go, particularly with how well you've been doing under Carlo Ancelotti. And for us, we've struggled since the restart of the Premier League. Obviously, 2 draws against Watford and Brighton that could have easily been losses, but for absolutely monstrous performances from Kasper Schmeichel. And then a loss to Chelsea, and ironically, which is the one game we probably could have won. We had a lot of chances in the first half and just didn't put them away. And then the second half, Chelsea changed the game and they beat us. And that's the thing, when we're playing teams like Chelsea, we need to be putting the ball in the back of the net, and we didn't do it, and we paid the price for it. So obviously, we're in the third place at the moment in a Champions League spot, but we've got Chelsea right behind us. I think they're 1 point behind us. Man United 3 points, I believe it is, behind them. So it's very, very close, and I'm hoping Brighton can do us a favour tonight and hold Man United for some sort of result. But then that means we've got to get the business done on the pitch ourselves, which at the moment it doesn't look like. We've looked very, very poor since the league's resumed. So for us, I'm hoping we can turn it around against you guys. But obviously, going to Goodison Park, Carlo Ancelotti team, it's not going to be easy. You guys have been doing very, very well. But for us, in terms of a team that I hope we go with, I'm hoping we can go with a team that's going to get on the front foot and really take the game to you. Because that's something that we've been lacking, apart from the opening sort of half an hour against Chelsea, is the fact that we haven't played on the front foot. It's been very sideways and backwards. We've dominated possession, but we've done nothing with it. So I'm hoping that we can dominate possession like that, but also be effective with possession. So the team that I'm going to go with, we're going to play with a 4-1-4-1, which is a system that Brendan Rodgers has gone for a lot of the time. Sometimes he's also gone for a 3-5-2 when he's tried to set up to hit teams on the counter. But for the team I'm going to go with, 4-1-4-1. So in goal and captain, it'll be Schmeichel, and he's the one player who can keep his head high after the restart we've had. He's the one player who's showing a lot of passion and how much his club means to him. And he's performing to a very, very good level, which a lot of the players at the moment aren't. And at right back, we're going to have James Justin. He's done a very good job coming in, replacing Ricardo Pereira. Obviously, I'd love to have Ricardo Pereira. He's still out with a long-term injury, which is really unfortunate for us because he's one of our key creators. But then the 2 centre-backs, we've got Johnny Evans and Sienchu, who's been our first choice partnership all season and been absolutely brilliant. And then at left-back, I've gone with Fuchs. I don't want to see Chilwell after Sunday. His antics after the game absolutely infuriated me. So for you guys that don't know, we lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup, and then instantly after the final whistle, he was there laughing, having a joke with Ross Barkley, and looked like he couldn't care less. So for me, as a fan, I found that absolutely infuriating, particularly the fact that he's one of our own, he's come through the youth setup and stuff, and then he just doesn't care. And for me, in my opinion, his head's been at Chelsea since January, since he didn't get the move he wanted. So I want to see Fuchs play, because Fuchs will put 110% in, and I think he deserves to play this game, to be honest. And then as a holding midfielder, we'll have Ndidi. Obviously, he's crucial to the way that we play, giving us a platform to get forward. He sits there as an anchor in front of the back four, allowing them to get forward and create chances. And then the 2 midfielders in front of him, we're going to have Prayet, who I think is one of our most underrated players, box-to-box midfielder, absolutely brilliant. I really, really like Dennis Prayet. I think he's absolutely superb. And then alongside him, this might surprise you guys slightly, I've gone with Ayoze Perez to play down the middle, because he's played on the wing a lot this season, but naturally he is a central player, and I think that's where we're going to get the best out of him. Obviously, it's looking unlikely James Maddison's going to play, and for me, Tielemans, fantastic footballer, but he just does not look fit at all. So I've gone with Ayoze Perez. To the front three, on the left-hand side, we've got Harvey Barnes. Again, he hasn't been particularly great since the restart. Before the restart, he was one of our players who was doing quite well, who was in form and stuff, but he just hasn't managed to get to that level again. So hopefully he can have a good performance against you guys. On the right-hand side, we've got a player who's actually surprisingly done well since the restart. One of the players before who wouldn't really get in the squad, not really a fan favourite, but he's doing all right in my opinion, and that's Damari Gray. And then as striker, I've gone with Jamie Vardy, but I wouldn't be at all gutted or surprised to see Iheanacho play, because as good as Jamie Vardy is, he's absolutely world class, but he just has been ineffective in the last 3 games and hasn't had any involvement at all. So the thing with Iheanacho is he can get more involved in the build-up than what Vardy can. So depending on how Brendan Rodgers sees this game going, we could potentially see Iheanacho instead of Vardy. But I'm going to go with Vardy. He's still actually on 99 Premier League goals, so one more goal to get to that century club, which would be absolutely incredible for him. For me, I'm hoping he can get that against Everton. Obviously, you guys less so. That's my starting 11, but I'm predicted Brendan Rodgers to go with. But obviously, in this run-in, it's very difficult to know sort of with how many games we've got in such a tight period, how he's going to rotate the squad and stuff. But that's just my prediction. But in terms of you guys, I know some of the dangers you've got. You've got Richarlison, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. Absolutely brilliant player. You've got Mason Holgate, who's kicked on massively recently, and I think he's an absolutely top-class centre-back at the moment, along with quite a few other decent players. So I'm expecting a very, very difficult game, and I never normally go against my team and say a negative result, because I always try and be optimistic, but I can see it being very hard for us to get anything from Goodison Park. But I'm going to go with a 1-0. 1-0 to Leicester, but I'm not convinced about it. But we need the 3 points. Anyway, me and Cameron have done a preview on my channel, so if you guys could come and check that out, it would be massively appreciated. But as always, Cameron, thank you for having me on for this opposition preview.